All right, welcome back. Once again, we apologize for the technological difficulty, but thanks for joining us here on YouTube.com, your home and away home for all Menor Icebreakers games, and the second of a two-game series with the Elmira Enforcers. It's the first trip against these guys, either home or away. 7-2-2 is Elmira's record against Menor all time. And now, as the Icebreakers look to take to the ice, we'll step away one more time, but this is a purposeful break. We'll bring it back for the national anthem and opening puck drop here from Menor Ice Arena. And a great job there on the national anthem by Ellie Collingwood, who is a part of the musical theater class acceptance into Baldwin Walls for 2019 and started Mentor High School's musical productions while attending high school. Now we get set for opening puck drop here, 20 minutes on the clock. Thanks again for joining us for the Saturday evening matchup. The Elmira Enforcers in town, as we were saying before the break. Elmira with the all-time 7-2-2-0 record against the Icebreakers. Icebreakers defeated Elmira to end the season last year on a 2-game win streak. A good performance here at home where they rattled off a record 62 shots on goal. But now, Elmira with a win last night, 5-2. As we get the ceremonial puck drop, Elmira is going to be moving left to right in their white road jerseys with neon green numbers and neon green trim. The Icebreakers in their cancer awareness jerseys wearing black and lavender, still with that Icebreaker logo and the purple ribbon wrapped around for cancer awareness. And Nate Farrington and former Elmira Enforcer, or current Elmira Enforcer and former Mentor Icebreaker Mark Esri on the ceremonial puck drop and exchange a quick hug. Great job by the puck drop representative there to raise all this money for a great cause, and the Icebreakers again will move right to left. 20 minutes on the clock, and again, Frozen 5K after the game. All proceeds will be donated to the Scott Cares Foundation. Icebreakers looking to snap a 10-game slide. Elmira looking to continue rolling as they on a 4-game win streak. Pucks dropped and we're underway from Mentor Ice Arena. The Enforcers cycle it back in their end offensive zone to JT Walters. Now Walters over to Dale Dion, who had a nice night last night. And a collision there with Nate Farrington, and all of the jerseys tonight, which will be auctioned off on the Live Source app, have, instead of the players' names, different words such as hope and brave on the back of them, just like the Christmas jerseys or the military appreciation jerseys. Now crossing over into the neutral zone, it's Alex Morrow, and he'll get boarded up there by Zach Peace on the far boards. 19:30 on the clock here in the first period. Timofeyev trying to stick handle his way into the zone, but it's stolen there. Good crowd on hand here. You can hear the Fanatics roaring through. Tim Perks feeds it over to Pashtuka. Pashtuka goes for that corner, and it bounces back at him. Now behind the net, and it's recovered by Gino Mini, former Battle Creek Rumblebee. He'll feed that out to Zach Peace. Peace has been on a roll lately for Elmira. He'll feed it over to Timofeyev, and tonight is the 100th game in franchise history. That one rattles off left post. And on the other hand, Timofeyev is looking for point number 100 on the season. Elmira now avoiding the forecheck here, but it is heavy-handed by Josh Newberg, the new number 7, formerly worn by Jackson Tucker from Matthews, North Carolina. Now Henry Berger cycles that one back, and the Icebreakers will be content to dump that into zone. It'll be an icing call against Mentor. 18:37 remaining.
And on over to the Shark Tank, which is located on the right end of the ring.
It's good to see the Icebreakers a little bit of a better start than they had last night, where they got, it was completely outplayed over the first 2 minutes of the game or so. Elmira really controlled play and held the puck in the Icebreakers zone, but right now it seems pretty evenly matched. You saw Nate Farrington in the first few seconds of the game threw his body around. You don't see that too much from the Icebreakers captain.
So 18:31 left here on the clock as the Icebreakers will again dump that in the zone. And Elmira will retrieve the puck behind their own net. They'll feed that one out to Urich. Urich goes right to left. Feed over to Hudson Michaelis. Michaelis, the Cambridge, Ontario, Canada native. Now behind the net, Elmira at the left circle, looking to wind up, trying to get someone to the slot. And that would be Urich trying to get there, who is the second all-time point scorer behind his teammate Mafus now. That's right, Elmira has top 1 and 2 of all time in the FPHL. That feedback now to Walters, and will dribble towards the net. 17:52 now remaining in the period. We'll head to the other end of the ice in front of Jordan Brandt, who's getting the start tonight. 3-8-1 with a 4.21 goals allowed per game and 881 save percentage. That face-off was in front of him from the right defensive circle of the Icebreakers. Jordan Brandt splitting time with Frankie McClendon, who played last night in a decent effort with all the shots he saw come his way, 40 plus. Elmira looking to continue their third shot on goal there. A nice low pad save made. Keeping a low profile to the ice there was Jordan Brandt. And now it's the Icebreakers in those lavender and black jerseys trying to clear it out of Dodge. But former teammate Mark Esri's down there keeping it down for the neon green. But Alex Morrow eventually is able to find it up to Farrington. Farrington will be pickpocketed there by Kyler Matthews. Now the feed to Esri. Esri's got Dmitry Danielik, the Minsk Belarus native, hot on his heels. 17 minutes even left. 3 shots on goal for Elmira. Men are still looking for their first one. And of course, when the Icebreakers get their first one that goes twine, the teddy bears will go flying, all for the Cleveland Clinic Children's Cancer Society, and try to stomp out that terrible disease. But these teddy bears will be donated to the children affected by this terrible disease. Elmira taking their good time behind the net now. That's JT Walters just hanging out there now eventually. Menor will apply the forecheck, led there by Thomas Stewart-Dan. They'll get the feed up now to Dmitro Babenko. Babenko sends it right and bounces off the pads. Rebound right back off the low pads as well. Good job by Jordan Brandt there as he was left a little high and dry. 4th shot on goal, 5th fouled run after for Elmira. Now Elmira sets it over. Point man for the left and glove down the deflection. Good job by Jordan Brandt. And that was a tricky one, Jared, as it could have got past his glove there as Brandt wasn't able to get a glove on it, but he does a good job scooping it up afterwards.
Yeah, pretty good flurry there for the Enforcers. You know, we talked about last night how both these Icebreakers goaltenders, Jordan Brandt and Frankie McClendon, are so much better on home ice than they have been on the road. Jordan Brandt on the road this season down to an .844 save percentage. At home, that number is .912, so he's really a different goaltender in this building.
And the face-off now from that left defensive circle. Menor will win it and now come along the near boards. They'll dump that one behind the net. 16 minutes remaining in the first period of a scoreless contest so far. Now that shot, first one on goal, it almost snuck in, but the net comes off. Isaiah Crawford, the number 8 man for the Icebreakers, picked up his 8th point last night. He almost picked up point number 9 with it, what would have been his 5th goal of the season, a whistle on the ice there. But a good look there from Crawford to try to continue some momentum that he may have picked up last night. The speedster definitely adds a lot of speed out on the ice and found twine last night for the Icebreakers.
Yeah, I think JT Walters came dangerously close to tipping that one into his own net there, but Joe Young was, I think he was prepared for it. He was in position to make that save.
Joe Young played all 60 minutes last night in the win for Elmira. Improves to 8-1 now with a .273 goals allowed per game and a .925 save percentage. So we haven't seen Troy Passingham on this trip, and the face-off now, right defensive circle in front of, as they call him affectionately up in Elmira, Mighty Joe Young. Have you ever seen that movie, Jared?
No comment.
It was from the 90s, so I thought there was a chance. Now, Menor crosses into the neutral zone. Here comes Peshtuka, wind up on the wrist shot, and it deflects back out. He keeps it into play and was trying to get it to the slot to Farrington. A nice second effort there by Peshtuka, and look at him hustle on the way back to get back defensively. You got to like that for the offensively minded defender for the Icebreakers.
And Yuri Peshtuka's been playing forward these past couple of games. Icebreakers trying to change things up and maybe get something going offensively, putting Yuri up there.
And he adds that ability to play both ends of the ice, both zones very well. Picked up 175 points for Carolina and a few points for Columbus before getting traded to Menor. I want to remind you that Spuddy's Tavern is the preferred restaurant of the Menor Icebreakers. Spuddy's Tavern, located Menor on the Lake, will give fans 10% off their bill after Icebreakers home games when you bring in your ticket stub. And JD Cleaners is the official dry cleaner of the Menor Icebreakers, providing you with quality, speedy service when you drop off your laundry. So now Elmira with the puck in their own defensive zone. Kyle Stevens will feed that one over to Minnie. Minnie is looking to get it up to Brendan Hussey, and a whistle on the ice will go against the Enforcers there. 14:43 remaining in the first period of play. Fans, remember to visit our mobile team shop the next time you're here next to the bleachers to get your official Icebreakers merchandise. Gear up for the rest of the season with the only source of official Icebreakers merchandise. We'll head back down to the other end of the ice in front of Mighty Joe in the left defensive circle there. Tim Perks will win the draw for Menor. They'll cycle it back to the blue line. Now dump it back down to Perks, who came dangerously close to scoring last night for Menor. Perks will find, no, he won't find his man. That one got away from Mark Steele, his new teammate. the Danville, New Hampshire native and former Rumblebee, tallest guy out there besides Jordan Brandt with the 6'4" frame. Elmira sends that one off the backboards. Mark Steele clocking in at 6'3". Tallest position player out on the ice. Jordan Brandt adds some height back there as well, as he 6'4", 205 is the Alberta native. Now Stephen Fowler has been on a bit of a tear recently for Menor, stepping up offensively, tries to cut it to the slot, but he finds former teammate Mark Esri, who gets it up to Stevens. Stevens will send that up to Glenn Patterson, who in previous leagues was a 2-time Sportsman of the Year for his great sportsmanship, and now that one goes the other way. Here comes a sporting effort by Fowler. He's got one man to beat, tries to stick handle, pass him left circle, and the low bread basket save made by Young. A good look by Fowler there as he surveyed when to shoot it. He got off at, I believe, a good timing on the third shot on goal for the Icebreakers, but a good job by Young there on the stop.
You know, if I'm Stephen Fowler right now, I'm kind of feeling like I'm all alone on the offensive end. That time, of course, was kind of a little bit of a fast break opportunity, but the play before then, he sent a pretty good looking pass right into the slot and just nobody was home. You got to get bodies in front of the net at that point.
Fowler now with an 8-13-21 scoring line has made his way up into 4th place in points on current Icebreakers. Now Elmira in their own zone. That's Kyler Matthews. He'll feed it up to Stepan Timofeyev, who avoids the hit there from Joseph Keenan. Didn't see much of Keenan last night, but out there on a shift tonight. 7-3 shot on goal advantage for Elmira. Here comes Tim Perks, and he'll dump that one behind the net. 13:06 remaining now in the first period. Elmira trying to get into the neutral zone, led by the Chargers, Stepan Timofeyev. Big board up there by Nate Farrington. Fired off a shot there, but rattles back off after the stick from Zach Peace, and now Menor looking to get it out of the danger zone. Elmira did very well when they were able to keep the puck down here for multiple minutes in a row, and now Menor is trying to avoid that happening here, trying to avoid that also statistic of if the other opposition scores first. They're 2-17-0-3. Now, yes, they didn't win last night, but when they have given up that goal first, it has been a dangerous thing against these Icebreakers. Also out there on the first shift tonight, recovering from being sick here as that one goes out of play, is Cameron Yarwood for Elmira, the Grosse Pointe, Michigan native, the lefty, joining them out on the ice today. Yarwood adds in 27 more points for what is a very deep Enforcers team. Jared, we talked about last night, 7-20-27 scoring line for Cameron Yarwood.
Yeah, I mean, you look up and down this lineup, Urich, Mafus, Michaelis, Tucker, Stevens, Patterson, Yarwood. I mean, all these guys are capable scorers, not to mention Dale Dion and now Mark Essery as well.
Now Fowler, here he is once again, and he went for that left corner, but goes sailing a little bit out of reach and into the safety net. If you're looking for the ultimate Icebreakers experience, purchase tickets for our Founders Room and enjoy restaurant quality food, as well as a chance to meet head coach and Icebreakers players at each and every home game. Tickets start just at $30 and available at MenorIcebreakers.com or by calling 440-290-8502. Check out the website, MenorIcebreakers.com. And Jared, are you excited? We're going to be getting a hold of Yuri here over the weekend, and along with Stepan Yarovic, the Czech Council, bringing back what you started last year, the Breaking the Ice that gets posted on the Icebreakers media channels.
Yeah, you know, I'm passing down the reins to you, so hopefully you don't let me down. We'll see how it goes.
I know you have very, very high standards, so hopefully we will live up to your expectation. Nice breadbasket save made there by Young off of the stick from Danieluk. He does his best offensive work from the blue line. 12:03 remaining, and the Icebreakers have rattled off 3 shots on goal in a row, now only trailing 7-5 in that department. And Perks on the draw, going up against Hudson Michaelis here. They'll get that feed over to Andrew Harrison. Now that one, Danieluk is able to backhand pass forward to Stuart Dant, the veteran, winds up and deflects off the right pad there of the lefty Young. Now behind the net, Fowler will recover it, He'll get it behind the net to Perks. Now Perks will have to dump that one all the way back down. That one wasn't the look Menor was looking for. 4 shots on goal in a row for Menor, and that is good, keeping it away. But here's what you don't want to see if you're a fanatic listening at home is Tyler Urich checking in with help, and that help gets that shot off there. A good deflected save made by Young off the shot of Andrew Harrison, who had a very strong night last night for Elmira, and an Icebreaker takes a spill to the ice and that'll draw a whistle. And, of course, last night, Jared, the Icebreakers, 0 power play opportunities, 0 Lake Health power plays, only 2 penalty kills, and 1 4-on-4 spell in what was maybe one of the least penalized games. But now here comes our great Lake Health athletic trainers, and hopefully the fallen Icebreaker is okay. Want to thank Lake Health for providing the medical staff for tonight's game, as well as training facilities for our players to use all season long. At the Live Healthy Fitness Center in the Brunner Sand and Dietrich Wellness Campus right here in Mentor, you'll enjoy convenient hours, state-of-the-art exercise equipment, and a friendly, experienced staff. A membership gives you everything you need to reach your fitness goals and keep them going from New Year's or anytime. And that is Isaiah Crawford. Hopefully he will be fine. Also want to thank that medical staff led by Dr. Doriga, Rashawn Bailey, Cassie Mann, and Malia Harwood for providing medical staff and training for tonight's game and throughout the entire season.
First power play of the weekend for the Icebreakers. Here's Andrew Harrison. I believe that should be a high sticking call, which Harrison didn't seem to agree with, but either way he'll head to the box.
It's a bit wild to think that it took 70 minutes roughly to get here to our first Lake Health power play. So again, a big thank you to Lake Health. Mentor could use that man advantage here to try to score first. Minute 53 on the clock for the high sticky call, as you said, Jared, against Harrison. Morrow will feed that one up now, left circle, leaves it for Morrow. Morrow now back to Fowler, who's got in gets that to Josh Newberg, one of the newest Icebreakers, but Fowler has led the offensive charge so far. Morrow will have that one bounce back off of him from Young's pads. Now the wind-up shot from center point from Yuri Pishtuka. That one rattled and got the Fanatics excited as it went off the back glass. But the Enforcers do a nice job here to send it the length of the ice, and the on-way Alberta, Canada native Jordan Brandt will come out to get it. And here comes the Enforcers forecheck led by Boston native Brendan Hussey. Tim Perks with the feed now. Pickpocketed, though, there by Kyler Stevens. Kyle Stevens now was looking to get it back to the point to Hussey, but now the Icebreakers do a good job of taking it. But right back now to Stevens, and Kyle Stevens will send that one flipping off of the stick there of Nate Farrington. Farrington now leaves it for Fowler. Fowler picking up speed into the neutral zone, crosses center ice over blue line. He'll have to dump that one down with the opposition closing in on him. Led by Glenn Patterson. Icebreakers recover it, though, at that right defensive circle, and will dump it behind the net. Ricocheting pass back, trying to get it to Tim Perks.
I think we're seeing on this power play is the Icebreakers finally get themselves established in the zone. What's been a problem for much of the season on the man advantage, just they cannot gain the offensive zone on the power play. Just they really struggle to get the puck through the neutral zone. And this Enforcers penalty kill is one of the better units in the league, not making it easy at all.
And no practice last night. So 7 seconds left in tonight's power play, the first time, and they go to get in the slot, and they found Stephen Fowler. But how about that? The butterfly save made there by Joe Young, and he does what he has to keep the Icebreakers off the board first. I thought with 2 seconds left on the Lake Health power play, we were going to see reigning teddy bears, but not quite yet, Jared.
A pretty good showing so far from both goaltenders. You saw Jordan Brandt earlier in this period. Enforcers had 5 shots over the first 5 minutes of the game to 0 for the Icebreakers, and he stood tall on all 5 of them.
So the Enforcers back to full strength, a 6-1 shot on goal over the last 7 in favor of Mentor, but 0-0 on the scoreboard with 9:05 remaining. Now Stepan Timofeyev, he tries to rattle off a shot there, deflects back at him. Here goes Mentor quick on the counter. It seems like their counter has been much better tonight, at least in the early going. That one goes off the left corner. Fowler's gotten off at least 3 or 4 shots on goal. That one flips towards the Icebreakers bench. Again, you can download the Live Source app, and after the game there will be an auction as well as the Frozen 5K here if you want to check that out. But the auction will take place on the Live Source app, and you can bid on your favorite Icebreaker jerseys with words such as faith and brave and hope and thrive on the back of them. Elmira now crosses left circle. Good crowd on hand here. That one goes behind the boards. Remember, you could get to the game at Mentor Ice Arena for as little as $13, $60 for reserve bleachers, or $30 for the Founders Suite. 8:14 remaining now. Elmira got their 9th shot on goal there. Mentor's trying to pick up the pace and get out of the defensive zone. Along the near boards here, Icebreakers on the change. And Elmira will send that one back now into the defensive zone. Mentor, nice stick handle made there by Peace. Peace will drop it off to Jurich. Jurich winds up. Good wrist shot there and a nice save made by Brandt once again. and that is tough to do as they dropped it right back off to Urich, and he's a man who knows what to do when he gets a good-looking pass like that.
Yeah, and Tyler Urich, obviously not the fastest player in the world, but, I mean, if there's anybody in this league with a better shot than him, I'd be surprised. We saw last night on that one-timer on the power play, the Enforcers' lone power play goal in that game. It was just an absolute bullet that Frankie McClendon had no chance on.
Now, you told me he had 429 career points last night. How many one-timers do you think a guy like Urich has had over those 429?
I mean, his teammates know the kind of player that he is and the kind of shot that he has, and they're happy to set him up. But right now, Tyler Urich, 18 power play goals, 17 that is on the season. That's 9 more than the next closest player.
And Slam, the FPHL's best mascot, tossing some Menor Icebreaker t-shirts out to a great crowd on hand here on this Saturday. I want to remind you that Wingate by Wyndham Lamalfa is the preferred hotel for Menor Icebreakers. Visitors coming in from out of town can take advantage of special room rates when mentioning the Menor Icebreakers corporate rate when making reservations. Also want to thank a few of our corporate sponsors: Marco's Pizza, Kemp LLC, Conway Land Title, Toe Drag Apparel, CSP Insurance, Wingate by Wyndham Hotel, Market Street Family Restaurant, Global Real Estate Advisors, Spuddy's Tavern, Vitamix, Home Light and Online Real Estate Company, Lake Erie Marine Sales, Mosaic Properties LLC, Stadium Grill, Preston Products LLC, Bethlehem Christmas Lights Park, Cana Winery, Habco Tools and Development, McGarry & Sons, Nova Southeastern University, Auburn Career Center, Fitness First, Ganley Village Automotive, JD Cleaners, and Burger IM, our great corporate sponsors here as we're rocking out at Menor Ice Arena, and the Icebreakers looking to jump out to a 1-0 lead, but right now it's 0-0. They do trail 10-7 a shot on goal, and here comes the 11th one, a hard one off the stick of Yarwood, who's back out to the ice after missing last night, and that one goes rattling off the back glass in front of the Fanatics down there near the Shark Tank area. Icebreakers now trying to get it out of the defensive zone. Good forechecking presence by the guys in neon green and white. Flipped off the edge of the stick of Danieliuk there. Was looking for Morrow. Can Morrow beat his man? That man to beat is Kyler Matthews. That one bounces off the backboards and now back out. Behind the net, looking to retrieve it is Steven Fowler. Wind up gets hard off the back glass, and we've seen a lot of hard ricocheting shots on both ends of the ice so far, Jared.
For sure, both goaltenders are playing well so far. Joe Young on one end and Jordan Brandt on the other.
Wind up right circle, and a skate save made there by Brandt. Or excuse me, not Brandt. It was Young here at the Elmira end, and he feeds that one out to his teammate, Hudson Michaelis. Michaelis now sends it up. Looking to get the shot off there is Andrew Harrison, but a good closeout once again by Brandt, who's playing solid at this end of the ice, and the Icebreakers on the change. They've got a rush coming, and that one just misses scoring on that right corner.
Second post the Icebreakers have hit this period. Definitely not a team that can afford to not take advantage of those scoring chances.
It's got a nice sound when it hits the post, but you know what sounds even better? When that puck hits twine. Elmira now trying to clear it out of the defensive zone. I would say this is one of the more aggressive offensive flurries we've seen from Menor in a little bit of time, and it's good to see. They've been building that up over a course of games. Their last effort against Port Huron and Elmira has been the beginning of that road to recovery for Menor, and they're continuing that tonight. 0-0 with 6:06 remaining here in the first period of play. Elmira slaps that one hard off the boards. Esri backhand pass to Brandon Tucker, working to get it into the slot. Now back to Gino Mini, and their former Rumblebee sends that one rattling off the safety net. Also want to thank Moe's Southwest Grill. They'll cater any event: office lunches, house parties, tailgates, weddings, ballet recitals, and yes, thumb wrestling tournaments. Moe's Catering will fill your fajita, taco, and nacho bars with fresh and flavorful ingredients that are sure to please everyone. Just order at moes.com/catering or visit our Menor 2 locations, South Euclid or Mayfield stores. Welcome to Moe's, and you might hear about Tyson Fury and Wilder going at it tonight, but Jared just had a huge heavyweight bout in the thumb wrestling division and improved his record now to 95-0-1. Jared, congratulations, by the way. I forgot to tell you that before we started the broadcast. Mark Esri now flips that one towards the Elmira bench, but it stays in play. He was looking to get that to a teammate. He had Brandon Tucker down there. Gino Mini now from the right circle, and that one a nice pad save made by Jordan Brandt. And Jordan Brandt has put up a good effort, but right there from the left side of the blue line, and they do the baby shark right back at Menor. It's the Enforcers scoring from the left part of the blue line. And Mark Esri does the baby shark as he goes along to his teammates. That's a tough one to swallow right there, Jared.
I think once again that one is probably on you because I heard you just about to compliment Jordan Brandt before that one got tipped in, unfortunately. But good for Mark Esri scoring in building. He scored a lot of goals in earlier this season and last year.
So the goal comes at 5:15 from the left side of the blue line. I believe it was Patterson on the assist, but we'll wait for the official scoring confirmation. He scored so many goals here,
His 10th of the season.
and he gets to double digits.
Mark Essery. The assist to number 91, Glenn Patterson.
And it is Glenn Patterson on the assist, and Brandon Tucker also credited. That was a good-looking move along right to left on that line. Good blue line score there. Now it'll be Nate Farrington and Zach Peace going. I think you get the assist on the score, though, Jared, because you didn't acknowledge how well you do in thumb wrestling tournaments. So you set me up there.
No, don't put that on me. Do not put that on me.
Because I wouldn't maybe have been complimenting Jordan Brandt at the time.
For Mark Esri, that was his first goal as an enforcer in his 8th game with Elmira.
And his first goal, yep, and 10 now on the season for former Icebreaker. He led the way last year with a 28-23 or 23-28-51 scoring line. So good for Esri getting out there, but unfortunately for the Fanatics here, it wasn't for the Icebreakers, and they trail 1-0, and that dreaded stat of being 2-17-0-3. Now Jordan Brandt has been making a lot of quality saves, and he makes another one there, is what we were going to say, but 2-17-0-3. If you're a player out there on the ice for the Icebreakers, you might not know that exact number, but do you think part of that comes into play now on the mental aspect of the game, knowing how much they struggle when they don't score first?
Hopefully those guys don't read our game notes. I'm sure at this point that's not really something that's on their minds, and it shouldn't be in the first period of this game.
And the Icebreakers looking to snap a 10-game slide. That is something they are anxious to do, as are the Fanatics. Listening at home, 14-24-0-3, 45 points. And what's been the boon for them, Jared, is Delaware on a 12-game slide right there with them. And pivotal games with the Thunder will be coming in about a couple of weeks. But Menor needs to do their own part and just get wins, and they'll be okay. They won't have to worry about Delaware as much.
Yeah, just got to take care of business at this point. Obviously, both teams on lengthy losing streaks. As the Icebreakers get a chance right in front of Joe Young there, but right now it kind of seems like neither team really wants to grab a hold of that fourth and final playoff spot in the East.
And if you're the Menor Icebreakers, you would like to try to respond here in the final 3:41. But right now they have to contend with a shot coming right in from Andrew Harrison, fired off there from the center. And Elmira will recover the puck in their own defensive zone. Back to Harrison. A little miscommunication there with Michaelis. And Menor is able to take advantage. Isaiah Crawford back out there. He is fine, so that is good to see. Now, Michaelis to the slot. Oh, and he just missed it. At the last second, went off the left pad there of Jordan Brandt. Or that would have got tucked into the right corner, and Elmira would be up 2-0. Josh Newberg, free agent pickup just a few weeks ago. He'll get it to Blake Nada in his first shift tonight. And if it wasn't for the entire coverage of the low-profile butterfly there by Joe Young, that one's going in, but his entire body covered the net there. Joe Young, 6'2", 180. But he extended himself there to keep that one out of the back of the net. Still no teddy bears flying. It happened in the first period of a very high-scoring game against Port Huron last year. But what game against Port Huron last year wasn't high-scoring? He's trying to get multiple shots here from the slot, led by Newberg. Of course, you can't forget the 11-7 effort here. Esri now dumps it back down to Tucker, back to Esri behind the net. He'll feed it back right side to Minnie. Minnie winds up, deflected back out once again by Jordan Brandt. Elmira with the 16-12 shot on goal advantage. And when we return from the Labatt Blue first intermission, we'll bring you the Vitamix saves of the period and take a look at any scores currently in action. Not all of the games underway yet in the FPHL, but I believe at least one game had a prior start at 6:05. Now the Icebreakers on the counter. Feed back to Daniel. He gets pushed out of the way there by Esri. Oh, and Morrow was looking for that left corner, but couldn't get it off in time. Mark Steele set that initial surge up. 1:45 remaining here in the first period of play. And we want to thank our off-ice officials, Scott Tennant, Greg Butella, Greg Kopp, Fred Hayer, Russ Arala, Joe Knight, Brandon Cottis, and Daniel Savitz. Taylor Rudier on game day operations. Frank Schmidt, operations intern through Menor High School's business program. Larry Rummel, Al Moon, and Lawrence Rummel on the sound crew. Jared Tennant alongside me on color commentary and communications manager. And Casey Healy, video stream intern through Auburn Career Center's interactive multimedia technology program. And we've got someone going to the box, and it is Mark Esri. He just missed the box a little bit here.
Yeah, it was a great play by Mark Steele to really create that scoring chance and draw the penalty on Esri.
So hooking is the call against Esri, and Esri might be going for a Gordie Howe hat trick here tonight, as he already has a goal and a trip to the box. Just needs an assist to complete that. We're back on the Lake Health Power, or the fight, excuse me.
I couldn't let you keep going with that. I had to step in.
Well, maybe you could just call it a, what's half of Gordie? Gord? It's a Gord hat trick.
There you go.
I always have a response for you, Jared. I know that's what you love the best, right?
Always.
It's like those double. Yeah, hockey's all about assists. It's about team play. We got to have that team play up here in the Breakers broadcast booth. Right now, though, the Icebreakers need a lot of team play because they have that 4-on-5 disadvantage. 1:12 remaining that could carry over into the second period as Young makes the low breadbasket save now. So 54.1 seconds left in the first period. Elmira with the 1-0 lead and 1:09 remaining against Esri. So the Icebreakers have the 5-on-4 advantage. Right now, Jared, only second power play of the weekend, second so far of this period. Menor has to capitalize, and you would think what better chance to do it and right the ship with that one-man advantage.
And the power play has been one of the big issues during this current losing skid, so it definitely would be a huge monkey off the back to get one here.
Now it's Nate Farrington from the left side of blue line, bounces off of Joe Young, rebound shot there from Mark Steele. He's looking for a point as an icebreaker. So if Menor doesn't score, this power play will extend for the first 16 seconds of period number 2. Menor looking to make time of the essence here, though. 20 seconds left. Alex Morrow behind the net, loses control of the puck, and Mark Steele's going to have to chase it. 12 seconds now remaining, 27 in the Lake Health power play. Again, a big thank you to Lake Health. Behind the net now, Elmira's got numbers there. 4 seconds left, 3 seconds left. They'll dump it the length of the ice. And that'll do it for the first period. Elmira takes the 1-0 lead into the Labatt Blue first intermission. Played about 15 minutes of scoreless hockey. It was Mark Esri from the left side of the blue line. Double assist from Glenn Patterson and Brandon Tucker, the Colorado Springs native. And that's how we got to where we're at. Not a bad period for Menor. We saw a decent-looking offensive effort, I would say, for the first 10-plus minutes. But it is Elmira scoring first here on Cancer Awareness Night. Going into the second period, only 15 seconds left in the power play. How do you start this period off if you're Menor, Jared?
I think the shots on goal tell you a lot about what went down that period. Obviously, the Icebreakers with those 2 power plays, they've come up empty so far with 15 seconds left on the second power play. But last night they were outshot 48-23, outshot in every single period, 15-4 in the third period. And right now it's 16-15 Elmira for shots. It's just been a much more evenly played game on both ends. Icebreakers have had some good scoring chances, hit a couple of posts, but haven't been able to solve Joe Young so far.
Mighty Joe, he's played 4 very solid periods, only given up 2 goals so far this weekend. But with the score Elmira 1 and Menor 0, we're going to take a quick break, head to Labatt Blue first intermission. When we return, we'll bring you the Vitamix saves of the period, and we'll take a look at any scores currently going on in the FPHL. Keep it right here with us. We'll be back with more hockey here from Menor Ice Arena. Welcome back to Menor Ice Arena, where the score is Elmira 1 and Menor 0 as we get set for the second period of play. Thanks for joining us here on this Saturday evening matchup, as it's the Enforcers 1, Icebreakers 0, as we get set for the second period of Cancer Awareness Night. The Icebreakers wearing those custom black and lavender jerseys. They'll switch sides this period. Elmira in their road white and neon green. And it was Mark Esri scoring at 5:15 mark, left side of the blue line from Patterson and Tucker. That's how we got our score. We're waiting for the Icebreakers to put one in the net. And then the Teddy Bears go flying. 288 of them did it last year on March 23rd against Port Huron when Tommy Mahoney found twine. And we're looking for an icebreaker on the current roster to do so tonight and watch those Teddy Bears go sailing. It's all for a great cause. That's what we're here for right now, Cancer Awareness Night. And the Icebreakers score that first goal. Those animals will be donated, stuffed animals, to the Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital. And following tonight's game will be the Frozen 5K, 35 laps around the ice. It will take about an hour or just a little less. All the proceeds will go to the Scott Hamilton Cares Foundation, former Bowling Green State University graduate, and all the proceeds go to that cause. 19:50 remaining here in the second period. Elmira works it right to left on the ice. Menor left to right, and time has expired, so the Enforcers back to full strength here. That power play puts the Icebreakers at 0 for 2 on the evening so far, and only trailing one though. And as we talked about before the break, Jared, especially the first 10 minutes of that period, it looked pretty good for the Icebreakers in the defensive zone. And you can't put that one on me because we were talking about Menor's offense. Elmira finds the right corner of the net as we speak at the other end, coming off of the penalty kill. And just like that at the 19:27 mark, the Enforcers make it 2-0. We'll come back to that Enforcer goal, but I do want to finish that thought with you, Jared. The first 10 minutes, I would say, we got an aggressive offensive effort from the guys here tonight in purple and black.
Yeah, definitely pretty motivated during that first period, but right there, Stepan Timofeyev quickly answers to make it 2-0, and that's his 100th career FPHL point.
So that's the magic number tonight, is 100. Timofeyev's 100th point, the Menor Icebreakers' 100th game in franchise history. And Babenko and Walters are on the double assist. Dimitro Babenko and JT Walters. And that's a tough one because right to start off the period, you're coming in thinking we're only trailing by one, but now it's two. And yes, a two-goal lead is dangerous in hockey, but not a good way to start for Menor here in the second period of play, trailing 19-15 on shots on goal. And congratulations, though, to Stepan Timofeyev, number 12 for Elmira, gets it done there with his 100th point in his career, third on the year. And you got to give it up for a guy who does that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a player, I think, who'll find his way back to the SPHL pretty quickly.
So 18:37 remaining here in the second period, and now what is a 2-0 game. And Menor is trying to work it out of their zone, but they swing that on around in a U, and Urich is the man that picks up the puck, and he will keep it down here as he works it to the left point. As he got it to Glenn Patterson now, that one rattles back out. Icebreakers trying to turn things around here, trailing by 2. A good crowd of fanatics on hand here for Cancer Awareness Night as Menor looking to end that 10-game slide. And 20-15 shot on goal advantage right now in favor of Elmira. Again, want to thank Moe's. The weekend isn't over when it's Monday. You might physically be at work or school come Monday, but your weekend is still going. That's why Moe's burrito specials will make you feel like it's a lazy Sunday even when it isn't. Welcome to Moe's. Visit our Menor 2 locations, South Euclid and Mayfield stores. Right now the Icebreakers working to get that puck out of the defensive zone. That's Tim Perks, who had a solid effort early in this game offensively and almost scored last night, looking to get things going for Icebreakers. We need to get that goal in the net, Jared. We got to see Teddy Bears fly. That is a very important outcome here, and I'd like to see it sooner rather than later if you're a fanatic. And, of course, I believe even the Elmira Enforcer fans would agree, all for a great cause. Nothing to argue with there. They don't want to see Icebreakers find twine, as they almost do, and Esri was looking for a second goal, but a good close out there by Jordan Brandt. Out from the right circle, deflects off of the left glove, and trying to work it from behind the net there is Tucker. He's just swinging. He's hacking away at that thing. He hit the back of the net, the side of the net, and the post, and now that puck jumps up in the air right along the near boards, almost goes over the glass and out of play. Tucker was a man on a mission there.
Yeah, it just kind of illustrates the point of how the Enforcers come out so aggressive out of the locker room. The Icebreakers look like they're going through the motions after that pretty solid first period.
Haven't really mentioned Brandon Tucker, but he has a quiet, and I say quiet with air quotes, 23-16, 39 scoring line. A name you might not hear as much with Jurica Mafus, but this Elmira team has such depth. And right there, it's Glenn Patterson, Kyle Stevens trying to find the left side of the net. And that seems, is it just my imagination or does it seem off there?
Yeah, then it was off for about 10 seconds, I think, before the official realized it.
16:39 now remaining in the second period of play. Elmira debuted last year along with Mentor in 2018. Before the Enforcers, Elmira had the Jackals, who played in the United Hockey League from 2000 to 2007 and the East Coast Hockey League from 2007 to 17. They didn't have to wait long for the Enforcers to join the FPHL and immediately got the Commissioner's Cup runner-up. And now how about that? Right out of the draw was Stepan Timofeyev, who was looking for 101 just as quick as he got 100, but Jordan Brandt keeps it out. And other than the two sliding through, I think Brandt has played solid here at the other end. They'll board up there between Timofeyev and Newberg. Can we crack Joe Young, though? That might be the ultimate case.
That's going to be tough tonight. Joe Young's definitely on his game through the first period and 5 minutes of this game.
Joe Young has played over 500 minutes so far this season, 8-1. Can't argue with that. And a .925 save percentage coming into tonight, which is going to only increase. Now Elmira in the crease trying to put one in, but men are quick on the counter. The feed up to Farrington on the near boards. He's looking to cross it over, and that one will bounce around into you. Here comes Dimitro Babenko. Babenko crosses neutral zone, crosses blue line. He'll take a sliding move there from an icebreaker. Can't quite see the number. I believe it's Peshtuka. Now, Timofeyev. We've said his name all second period. He's been a man on a mission. Speaking of that term, this whole couple of minutes, he's rattled off several shots, him and Brandon Tucker. And now for the point, it's Patterson. Patterson, nice deflection, chopped down there by Harrison. But Morrow will keep it back and almost goes out of play. Quick out of the release here, rushing the other way is Joseph Keenan. Keenan's got nobody with him, and we talked about this, Jared. Those one-on-three scenarios, especially against such a skilled team, don't do you much good.
I like that out of Keenan. You don't usually see him show off the speed as a defenseman on the back end, but just broke the Icebreakers out, and they really couldn't get the puck out of their zone for a pretty lengthy period.
Now Elmira on the counter, the fast break. Harrison's got one man, and it's only Brandt to beat, but Brandt closes out the short side.
I think it's the first time we're actually going to see a penalty shot in this building this season. It's just such a rare call in this league for whatever reason, but I think Icebreakers might have earned that one there.
14:40 seconds left here in the second period. We have not seen one of these, and did we see one last year? One, I believe.
Fowler did have one in this building last season, but it's pretty rare for whatever reason in the FPHL to see a penalty shot.
Yeah, Stephen Fowler, the man who gets so many of the first. That was back on February 9th of last year versus Port Huron. If I do believe he made his penalty shot.
I think you're right.
So it's going to be Andrew Harrison, who had a nice night last night for Elmira. Fanatics don't like it, but as Jared said, probably the right call here tonight. Wind up there, Harrison, and Brandt closes him out. How about that? That's a big stance for the Alberta native.
Really good patience there shown by Jordan Brandt. Looks like Andrew Harrison was waiting for Brandt to make the first move, but he waited a little bit too long and kind of lost the angle on him.
Well, Jordan Brandt keeps it 2-0, and the Icebreakers give him some proper hand clap there, as that was very, very instrumental in making this a game still for Mentor. 2-0.
If you remember last night, falling behind by 3 goals, that's when you really feel like you're out of it, especially against a team that's as good offensively and defensively as this Enforcers team is.
Elmira is a team that knows how to score and score in bunches, and coming into this weekend, scoring 159 goals, only giving up 131. Menor came in with 126 scored and 146 allowed. Now behind the net, Menor's going to have a chance from the slot there. That's Stuart Dant trying to get the deflection. I believe is Fowler. And that was close. They had the men in the right spot, but unable to put it back in. That would have been huge right after that big momentum builder by Jordan Brandt there. Now Elmira at the neutral zone. Juric trying to turn it, can't do it. Look at this. On his knees, he's still with the forward feed to Michaelis. Michaelis was looking for Harrison, but a bit ahead of him. 2-0 is the score. Elmira with the lead. Michaelis now at center ice. And a whistle on the ice. That'll be offsides against Elmira.
Yeah, Jordan Brandt having a pretty nice night so far. Stopped 25 out of 27. Obviously, neither goal I would really say was all on him, on his shoulders. Obviously, the Mark Essery tip in. Not much you can do about that one if you're Jordan Brandt.
Again, Cancer Awareness Night tonight. A lot of great donations coming to some great charities. And don't forget, next Friday, February 28th, we're back home for another 2 games. Game show night on the 28th. Pucks and Paws, first time in franchise history on the 29th. The Prowlers finally come here. We've spent so much time in McMorran Arena recently. We could have had a second residence there, but we'll have them come in one more time this year for a 2-game stand and 4 home games in a row after being 6 away. Get your tickets at menorisebreakers.com and fun more promotions. Bring your dog out on February 29th. 13:21 remaining here in the second period. Here comes Elmira. Former icebreaker Mark Essery now looking to get that shot off, and he does it. Jordan Brandt will make the low left glove save. Jordan Brandt once again 3-8-1 on the year. And he has that 4.21 goals allowed per game under that mark right now, 881 save percentage.
I would have liked to see a little bit of more retaliation there as Brendan Hussey took a hack at Jordan Brandt, who had the puck covered, but not really much of a response from the Icebreakers.
So 28-17 shot on goal in favor of Elmira. Oh, and we're going to get you that. I forgot with getting ready for the second period. Get you those up-to-date scores in the FPHL momentarily as well when we get a moment. Esri fires off another shot. He's been knocking on the door for a second goal. Loose stick down there. Elmira's going to chase it down. Can Newberg get there first? Newberg's in a foot race to get there. He beats his man. Nice cut by Josh Newberg, but couldn't get it back to Crawford and Todd. Now here comes Elmira on the counter. Esri, picket of speed, crosses blue line. Stick handles past his man, but tangled up there with Mark Steele and collides with Jordan Brandt unintentionally. He will check on Brandt to make sure he is okay. Oh, wow. And at the other end, it was Cameron Yarwood accidentally sliding into his own goalie and then colliding with Nada afterwards. Just a lot of loose skating. None of these were intentional at either end of the ice. Just a lot of extra slippery ice, you know, when they put the extra slippery ice down, because there's a special ice for that.
And for Joe Young, it's not the first time tonight that he's had to make a quick reaction when kind of weird bounce off his own player right in front of the net.
12:37 remaining here, headed towards the Labatt Blues second intermission. Busy night in the FPHL. There was one early start and a few that have probably just got it underway at the 7:30 mark around the league. And now trying to get around Alex Morrow is Dale Dion, who had a nice night last night, did the Georgetown, Ontario native. Big collision back there off the backboard sets Pashtuka to a seated position. And now here comes the neon green machine over center ice. Stepan Timofeyev, backhand pass, back to Timofeyev, winds up, blocked out by Brandt once again, and another whistle on the ice. Many more whistles tonight than we had last night, that's for sure.
Man, I think the Icebreakers are going to take an interference penalty there. Another good offensive chance by the Enforcers that draws a penalty on the Icebreakers.
So 12:04 mark, it will send new Icebreaker, former Elmira Enforcer, Toledo, Ohio native Dominic Horvath to the box.
Take a quick look around the FPHL while we have a minute. John Butita, another assist tonight in a 1-to-1 game between Carolina and Port Huron. He assisted on the Thunderbirds' lone goal scored by Jan Salak. Columbus and Danbury tied up at 1-1. Still scoreless against Watertown and Delaware. And then Battle Creek and Danville, they'll get started here in about 20 minutes.
Central Time, always that tricky thing to remember because you look at it and say, it's 7:05. What do you mean they haven't started yet? That's Central Time, Illinois, 1 hour away. So Bloomington will have to deal with that next year as well. Remember, we named them already, the Bloomington Blitz, if the FPHL is listening.
You know, they should pay you something if they actually end up being the Bloomington Blitz.
I even have their mascot and colors all on a sheet. Boomer Fox, red, gold, and white. Are there any commissions for stuff like that?
I don't know. You got to contact them.
Timofeyev off the back glass. Funny but true story, Jared. I actually, when the Lake County Captains debuted here in Eastlake, Ohio, I got second place in the Name the Team contest.
I think I have heard that story before. You know, something you're a little bit too proud of, maybe.
Proud of second place. They would have been. It's similar. A C name that's has to do with the water. The Lake County Commodores. But Captains works too. Timofeyev now, he centers that one. Back and forth here, Elmira with 1:22 on the power play opportunity. Urich now, back to Pond, and he could have had Glenn Patterson for the deflection, but the bounce took a favorable Menor skip. And Menor's able to clear it the length of the ice. A decent penalty kill so far for tonight's guys in black and lavender.
That was a big change for the Icebreakers, obviously, with that second period penalty kill. It's always a little bit more difficult to get your guys on and off the ice with the bench being so far away.
And still waiting for that moment. It was so much scoring in last year's Teddy Bear toss. And maybe we're going to have a chance here. Morrow on the fast break, right circle. Winds up, glove down and over top of his head by Joe Young.
Seemed like everybody involved just played that one perfectly. First of all, Joe Young with a nice glove save, but Morrow placed that shot about as well as he could have.
And that was all off of the Westerville, Ohio natives. Nice fast break as he crossed from zone through neutral zone to zone. Don't forget, the Icebreakers at Menor Ice Arena, great way to get a group and friends of family together. Discounted tickets for groups of 10 or more. Contact us directly for more information on how to schedule your group for a night at the Icebreakers here at Menor Ice Arena. Always a fun time and a great crowd on hand here with all kinds of great promotions tonight and for a good cause. Now here comes the fast-moving Hudson Michaelis. He was skating with all of his speed towards the net, and Menor dumps it back down the length of the ice. 25 seconds on this penalty kill. 10:25 remaining in the second period. Now, the feed ahead of his man, and that'll give Henry Berger, who scored the first goal for Menor, a chance to cut him off, and a whistle will go against Elmira there. Want to thank our off-ice officials, Scott Tennant, Greg Butala, Greg Kopp, Fred Hayer, Russ Arala, Joe Knight, Brandon Cottis, and Daniel Savitz. Taylor Ruyer, game day operations. Frank Schmidt, operations intern through Menor High School's business program. Larry Rummel, Al Moon, and Lawrence Rummel rounding out the sound crew. Jared Tennant, color commentary and communications manager. And Casey Healy on the video stream, intern through the Auburn Career Center interactive multimedia program. Bringing this game to you, and 10 seconds left in the penalty kill. Menor in possession of the puck. A good sign for fanatics listening at home. Now skating behind the net. Menor looking to center this one as an Icebreaker skates to the slot, but they'll have to cycle it back. However, a good penalty kill effort there for Menor. No goals given up to Elmira that time, and a good sign there for the Icebreakers. Now in that near corner, Walters has it. He's got Michaelis and Kyler Matthews flanking with him left of him, but Menor again will dump it down, and Yarwood will go back to the zone to get the puck. Now back up to Timofeyev. Stick handles past his man, Mark Steele, or Alfonso Diaz now as well. Now behind the net pass, a little out of the way of Dimitro Babenko. Dale Dion will send one hard off the backboards. 9:17 remaining, second period.
Yeah, we talked about last night how the Icebreakers' worst period is the second period. That seems to be the case right now. They're being outshot 16-2 by the Enforcers in this period. On the season, they're being outscored 62-40 in the second frame, which is by far their worst period.
And that's even more dramatic tonight, as you just said. And Brandt does another nice save, bounce into there, but it's so tough, whether it's McClendon, Brandt, or whoever your goalie, whether it's Rodobich or whoever, when you have that constant pressure coming at you time and time again all period. That could be very deflating and very challenging as well, just from a skill perspective, when you have 7 different goal scorers with 10 double digits or more goals scored in the season coming at you from a team like Elmira.
And another penalty on the Icebreakers coming up. All these penalties on men are just a product of Elmira keeping the puck in the zone for such long periods of time. You know, guys get tired and end up maybe slashing guys that they really weren't trying to do, just out of desperation to try to keep the puck out of the net. As Downey will head to the box for 2 minutes. I believe that will be a slashing call.
Menor did a great job staying out of the box. Elmira did an even more tremendous job last night, but not seeing that tonight from Menor. And this is tough. You're getting tired, you're trailing by 2, and now you're resorting to, you know, some penalties that you would like to avoid. It's a recipe for giving up more goals in this period. Menor needs to refocus and rebound right now.
2 minutes for slashing.
And slashing the call against the Belarus native.
11:25.
Minute 47 remaining in the penalty kill. Just got off one, but back on at 8:18 remaining in the second period on the clock. Elmira works this one right to left up to Glenn Patterson. The Cobden, Ontario native, but now Menor's got a chance the other way. Farrington gets it center to his teammate, long-standing Alex Morrow. Farrington wants a call on that, and Morrow did seem to be tangled up and take a spill to the ice, but no whistle there. Elmira skates forward back into the defensive zone. Nice stick save made there by the Claremont, California native, Henry Berger. Now stuck in that corner, a bit of a scrum trying to clear it out. Minute 7 left in the penalty kill, 7:40 on the clock for the period. 1 goal scored each period by Elmira, and that's where we stand 2-0. And the Enforcers have officially doubled up in the shots on goal, 34-17. Jurich feeds it over to Patterson. Went back to Jurich, but it was a bit behind him.
Just way too aggressive on the penalty kill there by the Icebreakers. Had 3 guys neutral zone. A lot of 2-on-1 break to develop out of nowhere.
And looking for that fast break chance here, but you do put yourself at a risk. It's a risk reward. You can pay heavily or be paid heavily, but a tough thing to do at times. And now, nice stick clash there by Peshtuka. Patterson now resetting this man advantage with 17 seconds left. Center to Harrison. Bounces off of Brandt once more. Jurich now back to Patterson in the corner. 8 seconds left in the penalty kill. Jurich will wind up. Brandt's got to try to keep it out. The net was open. Did Patterson get it in or not? Brandt put his body in the right corner, kept it out. It blocked back out, but then it was tapped in by an Enforcer. We'll see if the goal stands here at the 6:36 mark with only 2 seconds left in the power play. That'll be the second time they scored with 2 seconds remaining in a man advantage.
Yeah, this one's definitely going to stand there. Jordan Brandt just did everything he could. You saw that puck standing right in front of the goal line for what felt like forever, even though it was only about a second or so.
But he needed someone to come up and help him out because he had put himself all the way in that corner of the goal to keep it out. He needed some backside help, but he did not get it there.
Yeah, Jordan Brandt looking for his guys to help him maybe get that clear for him, but Glenn Patterson was there on the rebound and just put it home for the Enforcers. That's a tough one to swallow for the Icebreakers, making this a 3-0 game.
So Glenn Patterson picks up his second point, had the assist on the Mark Isery goal along with Tucker. And his 8th now on the season for number 91, Glenn Patterson. And Jurich will get credit with the assist, as well as Timofeyev, who picks up point number 101. He got 100 earlier this period, and on the 100th Icebreakers game in franchise history, but so far it's been all Elmira's. We add that to the scoreboard. Elmira 3-0, scoring at 6:36 remaining in the second period. They scored at 10:27, and it's just tough when you get in these holes, especially against such a tough team like Elmira, in second place of the Eastern Division, or 4th overall in the FPHL this season.
And I think right now this team's just having a very tough time playing the full 60 minutes. These second period lulls have just been killers over the last few weeks and throughout this losing streak.
Now it's Yarwood from the left side of the blue line trying to add to that. So Elmira has scored on 2 power play opportunities so far tonight, and that has given them 2 of their 3 goals. Still waiting. Elmira's found Twine 3 times. Menor needs to find it, and we will see those teddy bears go flying, all for the Cleveland Clinic's children that are affected by the deadly and terrible disease, cancer. And It's a nice thing to get something of comfort, you know, and also the other portions of the Frozen 5K and efforts to help eliminate the terrible disease. And that's something that the Icebreakers organization proud to be a part of the fight. Skate to eliminate cancer. Now 4:51 remaining here in the second period. And I really still think, I stand by, Jordan Brent has had a pretty good effort. Look at this. I mean, he's already got 33 saves with still just under 5 minutes of the second period to go. He could be seeing north of 45 to 50 shots on goal at him.
Yeah, and these heavy workloads that the Icebreakers goaltenders between McClendon and Brandt have been facing, it just makes life so difficult on a goaltender, especially here tonight in the second period.
And Elmira's a team that will take advantage of those weaknesses and the tired legs. And, you know, you think the combination there, that one goes hard off the back glass. The whistle on the ice at 4:15 remaining. Think of the combination, though. You're tired and that you start giving some kind of sloppy penalties, and that combination now has a tired team on the man disadvantage. So that's a bad recipe if you think about it, because you're now weakened and down with a man. So Elmira's capitalized on that a couple times tonight as Slam gets the fans into it here at Menor Ice Arena. Want to again thank Dr. Brian Driga, Rashawn Bailey, Cassie Mann, and Malia Harwood, as well as Lake Health for providing medical staff for tonight's game and throughout the season. And again, join us next Friday and Saturday when the Port Huron Prowlers come to town. Game show night on Friday night, and first ever Pucks and Paws Saturday night. A homestand with the Prowlers on this 4-game homestand. Fans, check out how the information on website and social media on how to register your pup to attend the game with you on this special night. Tickets for upcoming games may be purchased at the door, or you can secure your tickets ahead of time by visiting the Icebreakers team office Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., or ordering them online at menoricebreakers.com. To purchase tickets and promotional discounts ahead of game night, please call or visit our team office during official office team hours. 4:15 remaining now in the second period. 36-17 shot on goal advantage in favor of the Neon Green Machine. And when we return from the Labatt Blue second intermission, we'll get an updated look at that scoreboard around the league, as well as gives you the saves of the period, brought to you by Vitamix. Now Elmira trying to add more to lead. Icebreakers trying to cut this down and rebound before heading into the third period of play. And at this point, do you start thinking, you know, plenty of hockey left, or are you thinking overtime at this point, hold Elmira at bay with 3 and try to add 3?
At this point, you just got to take things one step at a time. I mean, this is a team that has really struggled offensively for the better part of 2 months now at this point. You just got to get one through, and hopefully you can, start to develop some chemistry offensively.
Henry Berger from the right circle, wow. And Joe Young sticks his stick in the air and knocks it back out into play. Joe Young, again, so tough, and with only 18 shots on goal coming his way, the percentage of getting through his wall is not as high as how many Elmira's rattled off here at the other end. 3:14 now remaining, and Yuri Pishtuka will dump that one behind the net. Elmira seemingly kind of exhausting the Icebreakers out on the ice tonight. It was a great first 10 minutes for Menor, keeping it scoreless and, more importantly, getting plenty of offensive efforts. That's the key. At one point, this shot on goal was 8-7 in favor of Elmira. And since then, Elmira has gotten 28 shots on goal off compared to Menor's only 9.
And you got to remember, it was 16-15 at the end of the first period, so Icebreakers only have 2 shots in this period with 2:35 to go.
And a hard hit here up on the near boards. And that will draw the whistle at the 2:29 mark. Want to remind you, Wingate by Wyndham La Malfa is the preferred hotel for the Menor Icebreakers. Visitors coming from in and out of town can take advantage of special room rates when mentioning Menor Icebreakers corporate rate when making reservations. And JD Cleaners is the preferred dry cleaners for the Menor Icebreakers, where customer service is their priority. They take pride in customer satisfaction by providing quality dry cleaning and laundering services while making the drop-off and pickup or delivery of your clothing pleasant and speedy. We'll have a face-off here in the neutral zone, closest to blue line, facing the Icebreakers net, with Jordan Brandt hanging out there in the Shark Tank. 33 saves total so far on the game. Elmira looking to make a change here. Looks like it'll be debating who's going to take the draw here for Elmira. A little miscommunication. P skates back over, and it's going to be Dmitro Babenko and Josh Newberg. Menor will win it off the draw and work it right to left now. Feed pass over to Newberg from behind the left circle and bounce back off the pads there of Joe Young. Esri will battle there for control of the puck with Dominic Horvath. Now Babenko, the feed along the near boards to Stepan Timofeyev. Beautiful feed over. And he found his man Gino Mini, set him up perfectly. The net comes off the moorings as well.
A little bit too close for comfort for the Icebreakers that time. Just barely got the clear off and also barely avoided that delay game penalty. That puck was dangerously close to going out of play.
Stepan has really stepped it up the second period, picking up 2 points on a goal and an assist. Points 101 and 100 and 101 on his career. Thanks again for joining us here on YouTube.com, the home and away home for all Menor Icebreakers games. We appreciate you listening, whether in Menor, Ohio, Elmira, New York, anywhere in between or beyond. Right here, the FPHL's home on YouTube.com this year. Tim Perks, nice backhand move. We saw that from Juric, a nice stick handle while on his knees, and he keeps that play alive for Menor. And they need every play they could get. Stuart Dance sends that one back now to Horvath. And correction, earlier, Horvath is out there, number 11, but I didn't realize that 14 was out there, the return of Chance Taylor.
Yeah, signed a PTO contract earlier today. Had an assist in his lone game with the Icebreakers. It was that 4-3 shootout loss against Carolina here on January 26th.
And I thought he brought a pretty strong effort, a valiant effort that first day. He was in the mix of things for only one game sample size. So apologies to Chance Taylor, the Avondale, Arizona native. Has a birthday in a couple days on February 26th. He'd like to help the Icebreakers get a point here. So all the newcomers, you've got Josh Newberg wearing the 7, Dominic Horvath the 11, Chance Taylor now wearing 14, Mark Steele at 23. And I don't believe Chance Taylor was 14 last time. I actually think he might have been 11, ironically.
A little bit of switching around with the numbers today. Josh Newberg switched to number 7 from 17, and then of course, Chance Taylor could be number 11 because that's Dom Horvath's number now. So Taylor took over 14, which was John Butita's number.
And if you're playing at home and you got it all straight, you won the grand prize, but we're not sure what that grand prize is. But thank you for playing anyway. And now Menor looking to get that ultimate prize and find Twine, something they've been unable to break through, as Joe Young has been fierce back there. And also, you combine that with he's been well rested as of late because we challenged him the first period and haven't done so much this second period, only getting off a couple of shots on goal. Patterson shakes off his arm, might have got a little collision there, looks to be fine. 5.2 seconds remaining, and again, it's a fast-moving game, and fast-moving is fine except for when you're trailing, and both games have been pretty quick against Menor this weekend. It just makes it seem like time is even more of the essence, that something has to give real quick.
With 5.2 seconds left here, the Icebreakers will pull Brand off the ice for an extra attacker. And you know what? Knowing how the season has gone, I'll not be surprised to see anything happen here.
And Brandt has an assist earlier this year. Do you remember that?
I do remember the goalie assist. You always love to see that.
I don't know if we've had any more besides that in our history. Did Derek Moser have one? That's something that we'd have to dive. I vaguely remember him maybe having one.
Not sure. We're going to have to dive into the history books on that one during the intermission.
So right now it's Elmira 3 and Menor 0. The Enforcers had 2. Timofeyev picked up .100 off the double assist from Babenko and Walters at 10:27 remaining. And then Brandt made a nice save at the 6:36 mark, but unfortunately got stuck in the corner, no backside help, and Patterson tucked it in the center of the net off the assist from Juric and Timofeyev, who picked up .101. Elmira with the 37-18 shot on goal advantage as we head to the Lebat Blue second intermission. So with that, time on the clock for the intermission. We will return here on YouTube.com. We'll bring you the Vitamix saves of the period and the up-to-date out-of-town scoreboard. Keep it right here on YouTube.com. Welcome back to Menor Ice Arena, where the score is Elmira 3 and Menor 0. Elmira with the 37-19 lead. And we are going to take a look at the Vitamix saves of the period. Of course, Vitamix saves are bringing to you practices to game day. Our blenders help you fuel your performance and feed your life. That's Vitamix saves, bringing you the saves of the period. In that period, it was a doozy for Elmira with those 21 shots on goal, 19 saves for Jordan Brandt. Only 4 did Joe Young need to make. Thanks again to Vitamix for bringing you the saves of the period. Now we're going to take a quick look around the FPHL, see what else is going on this Saturday night.
Well, Carolina is taking control once again against Port Huron. The Thunderbirds are up 5-2 in Winston-Salem. Looks like John Butita still just with an assist, a former icebreaker. Danbury now on top of Columbus 2-1 after a tough shootout loss last night, overtime that is. 2-0 Watertown over Delaware, and still scores between Battle Creek and Danville.
Battle Creek had a nice effort against Danville before falling. I believe it was 5-3 last night was the final.
It was 5-3. Not a bad game for the Rumblebees, but it's inching closer, it seems like.
They've played consistently better since actually right before they got their first win, when they nearly beat Elmira before that, and since then have played pretty solidly. But right now, we're getting set to put 20 more minutes on the clock. I want to thank you for joining us here on this Saturday night. Hope you are enjoying tonight's game. And it is Cancer Awareness Night. Still waiting for those teddy bears to go flying. When the Icebreakers score their first goal, the stuffed animals will be tossed out to the ice, collected, and will be donated to the Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital. Following tonight's game, there will be an ice cut And I'm going to pause there for a second, Jared, because I'm going to be honest with my naiveness or naivete. What is an ice cut?
You know, sometimes I forget that you're somewhat new to hockey.
Yeah.
But it's just when the Zamboni goes around and does exactly what it sounds like. Cuts the ice down and kind of smooths it out.
All right. See, I learned so. I knew it had something to do with the ice resurface, but I didn't know it was called being cut. So thank you, Jared.
Well, let me help you out here. It's not the same as what the Zamboni does between periods.
Okay.
You know, when they put the water down and it freezes, it's not the same. A little bit different. Just trying to help you out. You know, educate you a little bit today.
So when the ice is cut, what will it look like as the ice is being cut?
Same as the Zamboni always looks like.
Okay. I'm just trying to get a visual here. I'm a visual learner. So I'll figure it out after that. But after the ice is cut, which now we know what it is, thanks to color commentary and communications manager Jared Tennant, who does so much, providing us with game notes and everything else for every game. Then it's the Frozen 5K, and you'll grab your skates. I know what a Frozen 5K is because it says it right here. 35 laps around the ice, and the event will not last longer than an hour, but it's great because everyone participates and registers in the lobby will all be donated to the Scott Hamilton Cares Foundation, all the proceeds for this event raised by the participants. And if you bring your own skates, there's no charge. $3 at the front desk. You could come out. You're listening right now. You're like, hey, I've been watching hockey. I'm fired up. I want to go join the ice. I want to help out. Come out and register for the Frozen 5K after on this Saturday night. And all those proceeds will go to the Scott Hamilton Cares Foundation. And, of course, the stuffed animals will be donated to the Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital following tonight's game. So the teams take to the ice. The Elmira Enforcers out in their white and neon green uniforms. And the Icebreakers out in their black and lavender cancer awareness jerseys. Download the Live Source app, and that will be following the game. Do you have a timetable, Jared? Is that going to be immediately after the game, or is that going to be after the Frozen 5K for the auction? Because I know our Fanatics are very great supporters of our auction jersey auctions.
I believe about an hour after the game, usually an announcement is put out. But that'll be on the Live Source app, of course, just like with those Christmas jerseys.
And those are always a great seller, these specialty jerseys. So 19:49 remaining in the period as we get set for the third period action. And the Icebreakers trailing 3-0 to Elmira. Trailing 37-19 in the shot on goal category and 3-0 on the scoreboard. It's the Icebreakers moving right to left in those special cancer awareness jerseys. Nice stick handle there by Morrow. Went behind his back. He's got hot pressure from 3 Enforcers. And Elmira in the neon green and white will move left to right this period. And now a wind-up shot there from Zach Peace goes hard off the backboards. 19:10 remaining here in the third period. Once again, thank you for joining us on this special promotion night here, all for a great cause. Now, it's Stuart Dant, drops it off. Hard shot there from Tim Perks. And Joe Young hasn't seen many coming at him, but when he does, it's Joe Young making a lot of good breadbasket saves.
It's been a great night for Joe Young. Stopped all 20 shots that he's seen so far on the year. Joe Young does not have a shutout, so we'll see if that changes here tonight. Only 18:58.
And to answer to the question, regardless if the Icebreakers are shut out or not, the stuffed animals will still go out to the ice. I'm assuming that would take place at the conclusion of the game. So whether scored or not, these stuffed animals that all of our great Fanatics brought are going to a great cause and the children at the Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital. So one way or the other, they will go there. We'd like to see an Icebreaker goal scored here, but regardless of that, yes, the stuffed animals will still be donated. 18:43 remaining now in the third period of play in a 3-0 game. And Elmira looking to continue their winning ways as they're trying to inch closer to Danbury, but definitely have the second spot by about 11 points ahead of Watertown, although Watertown has been winning over Delaware this weekend, so not much ground picked up for the Enforcers. Now from the slot, it's Urich chopping it, and it is saved by Jordan Brandt. And we talked about it, despite giving up the 3 goals, 35 saves so far here, early third period. The Onway, Alberta, Canada native, a strong effort. How many, Frankie McClendon, 44 saves last night?
Yeah, I think both these games, it was 43-48. that Frankie stopped last night. For both of these games, the netminder is not why you're losing. You know, at the end of the day, you have to score goals to win. You can't do it with 2 goals in 2 games.
And I completely agree. I just like to remind the fans, because a lot of times you think, oh, what's the goalie doing? He keeps giving up goals. Well, it's not just the goalie. If the puck is kept in your own defensive zone for a good portion of the game and that extra pressure is coming and no offense at the other end to keep it away and possibly even it out, you are going to give up some goals. So I thought Frankie McClendon had a solid effort last night, and Jordan Brandt doing the same here tonight, but needs some help at the offensive end. We saw it over the first 10 minutes. We need to see that happen again. Juric at the other end of the ice sends that one high above the crossbar. Now it's the Icebreakers on the counter. They'll feed that up to the new number 14, Chance Taylor. And hard board up there from Crawford. You don't always see the physical presence there. Josh Newberg almost taps it in from the slot, the Cranford, New Jersey native. But now Mark Esri, former Icebreaker, takes a bump there from Henry Berger. He should remember Henry Berger's got a big frame to go up against. He may only be 5'11", 180, but doesn't Henry Berger seem like he stands a lot bigger than that?
And I think he's been one of the more underrated players on the Icebreakers roster this season. He had a quick start offensively, kind of faded after that, but scored last night. Hopefully we can get him going again. That'd be a huge help to the offense.
So taking the draw is the main draw guy, Nate Farrington, for the Icebreakers, and he'll be taking that up against Kyle Stevens. Icebreakers get a quick shot off. That was from Pistuka, but good placement of his body was Dale Dion, and it goes off of him, and Elmira is able to send it along the far boards, looking to feed it up there to Brandon Tucker. Evades the hit there, and now Morrow at the other end was looking to get it to Farrington in the slot, but did you notice the turn of the body there by J.T. Walters kept him out of the slot?
Yeah, it was a nice poke check by Joe Young to break up that play.
16:54 remaining here in the third period. 3-0, Elmira in the lead, moving it left to right, and Walters now crosses center ice. He'll cycle back into his own defensive zone. Elmira has all the time in the world on their hands with the 3-0 lead here on the road, looking for the road sweep this weekend. Icebreakers back home after a 6-game road trip of their own, and I think Walters just did about 4 laps of his own defensive zone. Now he'll eventually find Esri in the neutral zone. He'll cross over into the defensive zone of the Icebreakers. Look at Brandt watching that puck like a hawk. He knows he's has to be on his skates. Deflection made there, body up there by Joseph Keenan to keep it away from the net. And now tipping it forward, trying to recover his own puck, is Thomas Stewart Dant, the Winnipeg, Manitoba native. And now Esri trying to stick handle past Keenan. Keenan cut him off. Keenan feeds it up to Fowler. Fowler to Perks. Perks outside the left circle, and it rattles one off the left post, and Young, like a magnet, droops over and picks up the loose puck. And the Icebreakers want to thank a few of our corporate sponsors: Burger IM, Auburn Career Center, JD Cleaners, Ganley Village Automotive, Fitness First, Menorice Arena, Auburn Career Center, Nova Southeastern University, McGarry & Sons, Habco Tools and Development, Cana Winery, Bethlehem Christmas Lights Park, Preston Products LLC, Stadium Grill, Mosaic Properties LLC, and Lake Erie Marine Sales. Will tell you the rest of our great corporate sponsors momentarily. 40-23 the shot on goal advantage, pretty similar to last night's affair as Elmira took that contest. 5-2 as a finish. They were up 3-2 and added 2 in the third period, and now they find a goal bar down, a nice left to right assist there on the right side of the corner, and Brandt didn't have a chance to react there as the pass came in hot, and he slapped that one bar down for Elmira to take the 4-0 lead.
And that one was just way too easy for Stepan Timofeyev. Obviously, he has one of the better shots on the ice, but that was looked like he just skated in a little bit on a post, a little bit too easy.
So at the 15:33 mark and on their 41st shot on goal, Elmira makes it 4-0. They've scored in each period now, 1 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 so far in the third period. We'll bring the official scoring line here momentarily from in-house.
Second of the game and second of the season, scored by number 12, Stepan Timofeyev.
And it is Timofeyev with his third point of the night. Zach Peace and Patterson, Glenn Patterson on the assist. So Timofeyev and Patterson each with 3-point nights, and pretty big night here in the 100th Icebreakers game in history for Timofeyev. Gets his a different 100th career point, picks up 101, 102, 2 goals and an assist. Tremendous performance for Timofeyev tonight. That one rattles off the pads of Brandt back out of play. And Stepan Timofeyev, the St. Petersburg Russian native, 5'9", 160, spent time with one of the 10 teams in the Southern Professional Hockey League in the Macon Mayhem. And as Jared said, a good chance to possibly get called up once again to the SPHL. But tonight, he picks up a career record here in the FPHL in a 3-point night. So he's been rolling since that second period. Juric tries to stick handle past Diaz. 14:22 remaining. 42-23 shot and goal advantage. Elmira with the 4-0 lead. Harrison drops it off at Elmira just with so many weapons on any given night. They can step it up, and you have to try to contend with all about 7 to 11 of them. They go pretty deep, and then there's a lot of contributing players with that. So the Fanatics, good crowd on here and here, are waiting for the Icebreakers to put something in. And also, I want to test their throwing arm and get those teddy bears out there. Glove down. How about an acrobatic play made there by Alfonso Diaz, who jumped in the air to glove it back down. Elmira retrieves the puck back in their own defensive zone. So now, back down at the Icebreakers' end, behind their zone. They'll swing it around in a U left to right. We'll do it again next Friday and Saturday, but it'll be the Port Huron Prowlers making that trip down from the Blue Water area down to Northeast Ohio. Elmira circling the perimeter of the Icebreaker zone. Esri evading two Icebreakers there, trying to stick clash. Esri evades it, keeps it going forward, feeds it up to his man. Kyle Stevens, and a glove save made there by the righty Jordan Brandt. Jordan Brandt knocking on the door of joining Frankie McClendon as two goaltenders in a row with 40-plus saves. He's at 39 now.
Cost is just $15 per child. And for more information, you can stop by the merchandise table.
Face off there in the left defensive circle. Menor will win it, but they have to contend with the heavy forecheck presence of the Neon Green Machine. Cycling back into it his own zone is a Czech Republic native Yuri Pashtuka. Yeah, look next week for that Breaking the Ice segment, a great segment that Jared Tennant started last year. It'll be the 12th installment of the segment. We'll catch up with Stepan Jurovic and Yuri Pashtuka. A whistle on the ice there. We'll go against Elmira at 12:43. And
at this point, you just want to see them get that, get that first goal, break the shutout, and have the teddy bears throwing. Nobody wants to have the teddy bear toss at the end of the game after getting shut out, just for morale purposes.
And I was going to ask you, and you started answering it too anyway, Jared, is at this point, where is your focus in the final 12:39?
Got to be just getting that one goal past Joe Young. At this point, it's 4-0, only 12:31 to go in the games. Stay positive, keep the morale going. It's tough when you're on a losing streak like the Icebreakers are right now to keep positive. That's always the biggest thing.
And we'll see how the final 12:21 plays out. Icebreakers trailing 4-0, 43-24 in the shot and goal advantage. Hey, you know what gives me hope? A team like the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have had so many struggles this year, and look at them on a 2-game win streak, all the changes aside, and they pick up a win before the All-Star break, pick up a win after. I believe 15-40. A struggling team just has to find that stop in it and start turning things around slowly. It's a slow process. No one expects it overnight, but you just got to find little victories like last night, scoring first, or scoring to make it 3-2 after three unanswered, or battling back a strong finish here like they did against Port Huron would be welcome signs for the Fanatics, and that's what you're looking for. And then you look to see if you could string them all together and do it over 2 periods, and then finally 3 periods. So that process has to begin now because, Jared, all things aside, we're looking at a playoff race that is going to come here to Menor, Ohio, despite, unless Delaware is able to do some damage, especially in the 4 games against Menor. So right now, Menor is making the playoffs. You need to start righting that ship now. You talk to a lot of high school coaches with girls and boys basketball playoffs underway now, and they say they'd rather lose one right before the playoffs begin and find out what they have to do to work better. Nice shot there by Fowler, rattles back off the jersey there of Young, but you got to fix those problems now before the playoffs, and I've never seen so many pucks go through the rafters as we have tonight. But the playoffs are a very viable opportunity still for Menor, all things considered.
And with the way things have been going for both these teams, I wouldn't be surprised to see Elmira and Menor in a first-round postseason matchup this April.
Yeah, if Elmira can catch Danbury, coming into this weekend, it was the hat tricks with 84 points and Elmira with 73 and 11-point lead. And Elmira kind of sandwiched in there 11 points ahead of Watertown. Now they got a fast break, and Juric is the man 1-on-0, but eventually from behind, it was the efforts of Crawford and Danieluk to help out their goaltender, Brandt, and not let him get a good, clean look there.
I'm not sure how you leave Tyler Juric there, and that's what he does. That's how he makes his living, is hanging out at the red line there and getting those stretch passes. Not like he's the fastest player in the world, but giving up a chance to the league's leading scorer like that at this point in the game is just not exactly ideal.
And on that last save by Jordan Brandt, he is up to 40 saves on the evening, 2 nights in a row that a Mentor goaltender has been picking up 40+. So good effort tonight from the Alberta native. Now here comes Juric once again, feeds it up to Dale Dion. Dion winds up off the pads of Brandt, now behind the net. 10:40 remaining here in the third period of play from Mentor Ice Arena. Juric trying to get to the slot to Harrison. Good cutoff there. That's Mark Steele back out on a shift on the ice. He'll send that one over left, but big body up there by Walters. And Mark Steele didn't like it, caught him from behind, and a whistle on the ice.
I think the Icebreakers have finally had to another power play.
And we want to thank Lake Health, Dr. Daria, Brashawn Bailey, Cassie Mann, and Malia Harwood, as well as Lake Health, for providing medical staff for tonight's game and throughout the season. Want to thank our off-ice officials one more time. Scott Tennant, Greg Butala, Greg Kopp, Fred Hayer, Russ Harala, Joe Knight, Brandon Cottis, and Daniel Savitz. Taylor Ruyer on game day operations. Frank Schmidt, operations intern through Mentor High School's business program. Larry Rummel, Al Moon, and Lawrence Rummel on the sound crew. Jared Tennant on color commentary, communications manager, and he does a great job providing the previews and game recaps. That will be posted later this weekend. And on the video stream, Casey Healy, intern through Auburn Career Center Interactive Multimedia Technology Program. So now that the officials sorted out, it is 5 minutes in the box going up against JT Walters.
The Elmira Enforcers penalty, a 5-minute major for slashing to number 24, JT Walters.
You don't see that too often.
Walters, 5 minutes for slashing.
5-minute slashing call against Walters.
9:39 of the third period.
And he got into it with Mark Steele afterwards. So the Lake Health extended power play, and now is the time. If there was ever a time, I'd say get those teddy bears in your throwing arm, because you have to do it over this 5 minutes.
If they're going to score a goal in this game, you'd think it'd be within the next 5 minutes here. Obviously, the power play's had its struggles, but, this is your chance.
This is the chance indeed. Dale Dion trying to send it the length of the ice, and he does so successfully. 4:14 remaining in the extended Lake Health power play for the slashing on Walters. 9:31 on the clock here in the third period. And Elmira with the 4-0 lead. Now skating from his knees. That's the third time it's happened, this time Fowler. The puck sort of disappeared behind the net there. Brandt will have his teammates come retrieve it. 3:50 left in the major. And we are over halfway through this final third period, barring a major Icebreakers comeback. We talked about the miracle on ice. It was February 22nd, 1980, when the U.S. added 2 goals. Mentor needs 4 tonight. The U.S., great moment to relive in their history, beating the Soviet Union, 4-time gold medalist, and went on to beat Finland 4-2 to earn the gold medal. Hard to believe that that was so long ago. 40 years, unbelievable. 40th anniversary of such. Mark Steele, nobody home there, and all of a sudden 2 minutes has basically ticked by of the major, and not much has happened here in the defensive zone for Elmira in that first 2 minutes.
The Icebreakers just having such a tough time with any kind of forecheck from the Enforcers. Almost looks like they're thinking about it too much when they have an Enforcer coming in on them in the neutral zone.
Pastuca was trying to stick handle past Ezra. He is able to get the backhand pass to Claremont, California native Berger, who able to get the shot off, but the stick clash with Patterson takes all the steam away from that. 8:05 remaining now in the third period. Also want to thank Homeline, an online real estate company, Vitamix, Spuddy's Tavern, Global Real Estate Advisors, Margaret Street Family Restaurant, Wingate by Wyndham Hotel, CSP Insurance, Toe Drag Apparel, Conway Land Title, Kemp LLC, and Marco's Pizza, with locations in Mentor on the Lake, Willoughby, Painesville, and South Euclid. I believe that's the 4th time tonight Elmira on this maybe power play alone has dumped it back down the length of the ice. Look at the forecheck to follow from Tucker.
Yeah, again, it's just 1 enforcer, 3 icebreakers, and somehow they're still struggling to get it out of the zone.
2:27 left in this Lake Cal power play. Perks has everybody all over him, and he's able to get that one off the corner of the post. 4-0, 7:34 remaining. Wind up from Berger, but his stick broke in half. We got broken lumber out there. Esri is going past a stickless Henry Berger there, and wow. That one just broke totally in half right there as he wound up for that shot.
That's an expensive slap shot there by Henry Berger. His sticks are not cheap.
And at least if it could have paid dividends and put in the back of the net, there would be at least a little bit of a payback, but no such luck as it took all the steam behind that shot away. Menor just cannot catch a break on these power plays as of late. Already only a minute 33 remaining, and Elmira able to get it back into the neutral zone once more. 4-0 is the score. Alex Morrow trying to beat Dale Dion, but Dion will beat him. Dion in neon green feeds it up, but stolen there by Newberg. Newberg's going to have a chance, and glove punch backed out by Joe Young. And again, the Enforcers clear at the length of the ice. It's so tough because when you finally get a crack at Young, he's rock solid, and then we're just not getting enough chances at him. Of course, third period has gone stronger than the second period. But you need all the chances you could get against Joe Young.
And I think tonight the Icebreakers made things a little bit more difficult on Joe Young, but at the same time, only 28 shots on goal here, 6:12 to go in the third period. It's been somewhat easy. I don't want to say easy, but relatively not too much work he had to put in for this shutout here. Not trying to discredit him, but at the same time, not a great offensive effort from the Icebreakers.
Glove down there before Dimitri Daniel can speed through to the slot, and all of a sudden, 38 seconds left in that 5-minute major slashing, which seemed like that breath of fresh air, that chance for better to turn things around here in the defensive zone. They've gotten a few good looks, but Joe Young, and you got to give credit to the back line of the Enforcers as well. They've sent that puck the length of the ice 4 or 5 times in the final 5 minutes of this major. Draw now and a little jumpy there, Elmira and Menor. They'll redo it. Nate Farrington will take the draw against Zach Peace, the Toronto, Ontario native. Wind up by Pashtuka. Young actually got caught out of position, but nobody was there for the rebound. And now look, he's recovered. And that shot by Newberg is a breadbasket save once again made by Elmira. You got to get him when he's down on the ground. You slap that over his head into the corner of the net. No such luck, though. They waited for him to get, well, they didn't wait for him to get back up, but he did get back up beforehand.
It's been that kind of night for the Icebreakers. Had Young finally out of position for once, and then as soon as they get the puck ready to shoot, he's back and ready to make an easy save.
So Menor looking to get a goal here. Only 25 seconds left in the Lake Health power play. And Elmira's done a good job at keeping it in the neutral zone or beyond, back in Menor's own zone. We do appreciate you, whoever listening in Menor, Ohio, Elmira, New York, anywhere in between or beyond here on YouTube.com, the home and away home for all Menor Icebreakers games. Menor sends a long pass there, right to left. There to get it is Pashtuka. Pashtuka aware on the back of his jersey. He needs to make an awareness play here to keep things going. Tangled up in the corner there, and Enforcer and Icebreaker take down to the ice is Newberg. Now, Elmira able to get that feed over from Kyler Matthews up to Timofeyev to Babenko. Babenko leaves it for Timofeyev. Stick handles past 2 men right to the slot. But good close out there by Jordan Brandt, who came out of the net to challenge him. Nice stick handle there by Timofeyev, though. He had to make multiple moves to get ready for that shot, and then they just miss a teammate in the slot. 4:47 remaining now. Oh, and a hard hit there. A hip check takes Tim Perks down. And he is slow to get up. He took that one right below the waist. That one's going to have to, you have to shake that one off.
Big open ice hit there from Dmitry Babenko, and Tim Perks is doing everything he can to get off the ice.
He dives forward. Wow, Perks with a gutsy effort to get out of play.
You just hope that Perks is okay moving forward. The last thing the Icebreakers need is another forward injured.
And he has a lot of solid play and just a very smart and put together kind of guy on and off the ice. He might not have the biggest scoring line at 3.69, but he just adds a lot out there. He had some height at 6'2", 190. He's played with some of the teammates being from Oxford, Michigan, and he just has a good intelligence on and off of the ice. So yeah, definitely want to make sure he's okay. So only 1:20 remaining as T-shirts getting tossed out here at Menor Ice Arena. And Jared, as we wind things down here in the final 5 minutes of play, Menor has the luxury of having practice back here at home all week and then homestand, so a little extended time here coming out of the 100th game in franchise history. Looking forward, you play Port Huron, who will be coming off of a tough series with Carolina. But we've had our problems with Port Huron, and we know that they can score in droves.
Yeah, it's not like last season where it was a pretty evenly matched season series between the Icebreakers and the Prowlers. Of course, you remember last season the Icebreakers got their first ever win against Port Huron on the road. But, you know, this year it's just they've lost 7 of 8 against the Prowlers. It's been a pretty one-sided season series.
Yeah, a lot of the biggest moments last year came against Port Huron. The win, most saves last year, highest amount of goals in the game, several other moments, first penalty shot goal as well. So last year, I think some of the most entertaining games were against the Port Huron Prowlers, other than the Danville overtime comeback. And Tim Perks looks like he's going to be headed off the ice. Hopefully he is okay. A teammate, Nate Farrington, good guy, will help him out as well. Get off of the ice, and hopefully Tim Perks again all right. And the Prowlers, though, this year have really had the Icebreakers number, both home and away. And they've put up some big-time scores, like 9 against Menor. So not any tough. When you look at the schedule, there's no real gaps per se, because worst record and losing slide is Delaware. But that's Delaware's entire season is those 4 games from March 8th through the 15th. But you got Port Huron 2 at home, then tough after playing Port Huron twice. They head up on a Sunday afternoon to play Danville, actually Sunday evening. And then it's back home against Elmira before those against Delaware. Now here comes the Icebreakers. Here's their chance, and the rebound not able to get in. But that was a good look from Josh Newberg. And Elmira so quick to counter. Harrison trying to find Urich in the slot, but he gets tripped up. It's the 4 with Delaware, and then Danbury and Watertown and Elmira. It doesn't get any easier. So Menor's going to have to keep the schedule aside, and they're going to have to do this from internally and really find some intestinal fortitude to turn this thing around. And they're definitely capable of doing so. They're going to have to do it soon. Now Gene O'Mini back out on a shift on the ice, former Battle Creek player. So many weapons on this team. Now Urich between the circles. He's going to get the shot off. Good job by Brandt. And the rebound, though, is put in. Brandt couldn't pick it up. He blocked Urich, which is already a tough thing to do. And credit there, but then skating in is Harrison to tap it in that left corner, and that puts Elmira up 5-0 with 3:15 remaining.
Yeah, tough break for Jordan Brand. He made the initial save on Urich, which was a really nice save, but he just could not get to the rebound in time before Andrew Harrison poked it out and finished into an open net.
And if you look at when the goals have scored, Brandt's been able to go big stretches without giving up a goal. He went the first 15 minutes before Esri scored. And then he went the next 15 minutes going into the second period without giving up a goal. Then went only 4 minutes. And then went about 10 more minutes before giving up the first goal of the third period. And then now a 13-minute stretch. So while giving up 5 goals, he's had some strong stretches. 48 shots on goal, though, for Elmira. 43 saves for Brandt. That's the number that McClendon got to last night. But Elmira makes it 5-0, 5 goals scored 2 nights in a row, and still 2:52 remaining. Men are still looking for that opportunity to score, and I think that would be the ultimate silver lining. Avoid the shutout and get to throw the Teddy Bears out during regulation. And they will, of course, go out either way, as this is a promotion that is much bigger than just hockey. That one rattles off the left post, but I know the Fanatics are ready to throw them out there. I know the Icebreakers are ready to see that stoppage in play. And we'll see if we get it here with 2:25 remaining. 49-31, the shot on goal advantage in favor of Elmira. And things winding down here in this weekend series. Elmira's got numbers 2-on-1 to Walters. That just misses. Good job by Brandt to close out. He extended his body out. And a whistle on the ice now. 2:04 remaining here in the third period.
Another offensive zone penalty against the Enforcers. A little bit surprising.
Yeah, you almost wonder they don't need them at this point. I mean, up 5-0 with only 2:04. And
might be offsetting.
Yeah, an Icebreaker is in the box. I didn't catch a number there. It's Brendan Hussey going to the box for Elmira. It's hard to read that number from Menor, kind of scrunched up there.
Have to wait for the official announcement, but we talked about it earlier. The workload these Icebreakers goaltenders been facing is just, I mean, it's crazy how many shots they're facing every single game. It's almost like, you know, what you saw in Battle Creek earlier in the season where their goaltenders would face 50, 60 shots a night, and that's what it's kind of becoming here right now. 49 shots for the Enforcers with 2:04 to go after 48 last night.
If I'm not mistaken, there was 2 Rumblebee games in a row, I believe, against Carolina where they faced 60 plus, and then I believe 61, and then 70 plus the following night. You're talking about almost 140 shots on goal in a weekend series.
And for Elmira, it's not like you're getting the a little bit of hometown favoritism for the shots on goal totals. That's a pretty accurate shot on goal total for the Enforcers tonight.
You got to think. How much did that get Jacob Mullen battle ready for Carolina? Because he's been tremendous for the Thunderbirds since going there, but he got really battle tested up there at the rink at Battle Creek.
Not sure what's going on, but Hussey's out of the box. There's no Enforcer in the penalty box. Icebreakers might be heading to a penalty kill after that play.
Oh, it's 5 minutes being assessed now to Hussey.
All right, never mind.
Throw it all out the window, Chair. This is what you just throw your hands in the air and say, okay.
We'll play 4-on-4 until the last 4 seconds of this game. I think Mark Essier might be serving this one.
I was trying to think what was we had a really unique penalty scenario last year. Was it a 4-on-2? Well, I can't remember. It wasn't, 4-on-4. It wasn't 5-on-3. It was maybe it was 4-on-3. Was that sound right? We had a very unique one.
A lot of open ice on those, those 4-on-3 situations. You see those all the time.
Maybe there was one unique one. I was counting on you to have your epitome ready to that page, Jared.
I'm off my game tonight.
That's all right.
It happens.
You're doing fine here in the Icebreakers, though, trailing 5-0. It's moments like this where you're not arguing the call, but you're just almost with 2:04, just want to have them get the call out and finish out the game here, and it most likely will not be a major difference maker here. I mean, the 5-minute major, and there's 2:02 on the clock. At this point, you would just like to see for the Fanatics and for the good cause, and Menor just put one in the back of the net. We have our own stuffed animals ready to throw out. We threw Edgar out last year. I got a couple of dogs to throw out tonight. Stuffed animal dogs, just to make sure everybody knows.
The spearing call to Hussey. 5-minute major in addition to the 10-minute game misconduct.
So 1:31 remaining, a minute 26 against Henry Berger, at 4:22 on the major. Wide open look here, 1-on-0. Tries to put it by him. Good job by Brandt to come out and challenge the effort from Hudson Michaelis, the Cambridge, Ontario Canadian native.
And you saw Brandt just throw his arms up like, what are you guys doing? I mean, without Hudson Michaelis all alone at the blue line, nobody on him. And at this point in the game, it's just, I mean, come on.
Hudson Michaelis, 23, 28, 51 scoring line. That's what Esri had last year. You did it with Urich, who has an even bigger scoring line. You can't leave anybody with the 1-on-0, let alone 2 of your top scorers. And again, Jordan Brandt with so many saves, 50 shots on goal. He's got 45 saves, even surpassing Frankie McClendon's number last night. Not that that was a slouch effort, but just a lot to deal with from the goaltender's aspect. And Pete Franklin always, the late great Pete Franklin said, one of the toughest 2 things to do is stop a puck coming at you as a goalie. How about stop a puck as a goalie coming at you with only one guy, and it's in Elmira, it's in an opposition guy skating free right towards you. That's makes it even more exponentially tough.
Yeah, credit to Jordan Brandt tonight. I think he played a great game, stopped 45 out of 50 shots here with the clock ticking down here. Jordan Brandt, heck of a game for him.
9 seconds left as this one winds down. One of the penalties about to expire, but only 5 seconds left in the game clock. And Menor get the shot off. Morrill tries to stick handle past Patterson. Patterson extends his stick, and Elmira will win 5-0. And I see the first teddy bears going out. Fans have been waiting to throw those. You going to do the honors, or is that me tonight, Jared?
I'm going to go ahead and let you do that.
All right, talk for a moment, because they don't like dead air. I'll throw the teddy bears out.
I'll commentate. This is Angelo here, grabbing his bag, and he's heading down to the stairwell, trying to get a little bit of a handicap on that throw, and he comes up just short. Oh, that's a heartbreaker, just short. Could not make it over the glass. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing.
Oh, no, I didn't make it. It went off the top of the glass. Did you get that play-by-play for that, Jared?
I did, and that's embarrassing for you, and you should be ashamed of that.
But I at least hit the top of the glass. I don't believe you even hit the top of the glass last year.
You know, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it was the same result.
My dogs were picked up and tossed over, so they will go out there. I see a shark. You see any good ones out there, Jared? I mean, they're all good ones. It's for a great cause. You see that shark right there? There is a shark. There's a blue shark, I believe.
Yeah, it's tough to see because, obviously Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital requires the bears to be in those plastic coverings just for, safety, health purposes.
Yeah. Oh, I think I see. Do you see that one dog by the blue line?
I do.
I think that is one of the ones that I had, and someone picked it up and tossed it over when it spilled out of the bag.
At least he made it eventually.
He made it, yep. We got to give one of them a name. How about Edgar was last year? That could be Ernest. We'll stick with the E's. That way, if we forget one of them, we'll just remember they both start with E, and you just go through the E names.
Yeah, I do feel like you probably should have named him before you tossed him.
I know. There was 3, but Ernest will lead the pack there. Once again, the final tonight, Elmira 5, Menor 0, and your takeaway from the weekend series, of course, great to be home, but what do you make heads or tails here? Well, my thoughts would be the good takeaways would be some solid goaltending play by both McClendon and Brent, all things considered. Of course, you don't want to give up 5 goals, but I think they hung in there. I think last night we saw a nice, strong effort from them scoring first and then being able to respond from 3 unanswered and score to make it 3-2. And then tonight, I would say, the first 10 or so minutes of the game, maybe 12 or so, the Icebreakers' offense was one of the more fired up we've seen recently. But all things considered, Elmira is excited as they pick up another win. The Enforcers will continue their winning ways, and Menor now will fall to 14, 25, 0-3, still at 45 points. Elmira will improve to 24, 13, 2-3. They'll pick up 3 more points and go to 79 in their pursuit to catch Danbury, but all but locked up. I think we got to check the score at Delaware and Watertown, because once Menor's results over, that's the first thing I think is, how did Delaware do? Nothing against them. They're no slouch. But while you're kind of struggling, you need to see if you keep your position there locked up and not lose any ground.
Now, Watertown's taken a 5-1 lead over the Thunder, so some good news tonight for the Icebreakers. They'll maintain that 21-point lead over Delaware for, what is it now? 5th or 6th week in a row. Both these teams are on double-digit losing streaks at this point.
And that'll be the 11th in a row. Delaware, if they lose, will be their 13th in a row. How about the Rumblebees? Are they hanging in there tonight?
Rumblebees are down 2-0 against Danville. We got a final from Carolina, 5-2. Thunderbirds top the Prowlers.
And Danbury is still atop the Columbus River Dragons?
It is 4-2 hat tricks at the moment, but I've heard it's been a pretty physical game.
Well, that one will probably still be going on, so can tune on the other great streams of the FPHL and check out how things are going.
Good to see that Icebreakers legend Igor Kostukov scored for the River Dragons. He was technically, we had his rights for about 2 weeks until we traded him to Mark Steel trade.
Yeah, he was on everybody's team because he was in the SPHL. Was he on Knoxville, I believe, or he was on one of the SPHL teams where we haven't sent someone up, and his rights were traded. And then he went to Delaware and now ended up with Columbus and is actually playing there. So we're going to be back here next Friday and Saturday. We hope you either join us here at Menor Ice Arena and catch a game live. It'll be game show night on Friday. It'll be Pucks and Paws for the first time in franchise history Saturday. And we'll have the stream for you on YouTube.com both nights. Friday night, puck drop is 7:35, 6:30 start once again on Saturday. Then they'll take to the road for a 6:05 start at Danville at David S. Pullman Arena. Busy weekend for the Icebreakers next weekend. Need some good practice in this week. The final once again, it's the Elmira Enforcers 5 and the Menor Icebreakers 0 tonight. And the Live Source app, check in about an hour. Frozen 5K coming up here at Menor Ice Arena. And until next time, we'll see you all later.